Lie, your favorite neighborhood therapist. Having real hard convos, contrasting pessimists. Generational trauma explored, broach delicate. Getting to the root of the pain, healing impediments. Every week signs copay, free lessons. Bet on self, trust the process, no questions. Feel your feels, journey to be healed, no stressing. Conversations with Coach Lies now in session.
Coach Live, are you ready? 50 years. Saturday, July 11th at Florian Hall in Dorchester. Celebrating 50 years of betting on self.
Let's go.
Don't miss Coach Live's 50th birthday celebration. A mental health awareness fundraiser. A powerful night of celebration, music, and mental health awareness. Saturday, July 11th, 7 p.m. at Florian Hall in Dorchester. Tickets are available on Eventbrite. Keywords, Coach Live's 50th birthday celebration. Join nationally recognized therapist, speaker, radio host, and your favorite around the way girl, Coach Live. Celebrating 50 years, a night of purpose, power, healing, and celebration. Dress to impress. Bring your people and come celebrate. Coach Live's 50th birthday celebration. It's the event everybody's going to be talking about. Heal, elevate, evolve. And remember, always bet on self.
Beyond Heat, 981fm.com, and iHeart Station.
Nancy, Smokehouse, it's the urban heat. Shout out to Coach Live.
Coach LA, it's time to listen to conversations that's gonna keep you winning. Sunday nights at 10 p.m. on the urban heat, just calling. Conversations with Coach La 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 La. Coach La 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 La. If you got something on your mind, you can call in, you can hit a line. She the realest, ooh, she the realest. You can tap in, now I always get the business to empower you so that you can do every and anything that you want to. Kicking it with Coach LA, it's time to listen to conversations that's gonna keep you winning. Sunday nights at 10 p.m. on the urban heat, just calling. Conversations with Coach La 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 La. Coach La 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 La.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Conversations with Coach La 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 La. How y'all feeling out there on this Sunday evening? It's a beautiful day here in Boston. I want to give some shout outs to some individuals that I spent some time with this weekend. As you know, Boston has Black radio. We are the Urban Heat, 98.1 FM. If you haven't done so already, make sure you go to iHeartRadio and download the iHeartRadio app so you don't miss a show. You don't miss any of the dope conversations and music that we play 24/7. So shout outs to all of the great things that have happened over the weekend. First and foremost, I'm going to give a shout out to GLT, Greater Love Tabernacle. They did their women's conference this weekend. I heard it was an awesome success. So I want to give a shout out to all those that planned that, because you know what? We need to have empowering events in our city for women. Also want to give a huge shout out to Warrior Barnes. He is one of the Poe Therapy poets, and he did an event called Just Spit. It was an outdoor cookout in Franklin Park. I got a chance to go and check that out. Once again, shout out to you, Warrior. Keep up the great work. I know you got more things coming up in the city. And then we headed over to the Mattapan Post to hang out with Uncle JG and all of the wonderful people over there. They did an event called Sip and Smoke. Yep, Coach was smoking a cigar this weekend, y'all. Yeah, I was trying to be grown and sexy and all that good stuff, you know. But the whole thing I've learned is do not inhale. Do not inhale. Do not inhale the cigar. So don't do that. Next up, after that, we headed over to Cambridge, and we participated in the watch party for FIFA. and Haiti was playing Scotland, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but anyway, we went in over there and we checked that out too, and we did a little bar crawl. But we didn't stay in Cambridge long. We ended our night with Eddie Q and Dana Dobson. We're doing the Gemini Energy, and DJ Chubby Chub, who was on the show last week, was actually the DJ for that event. I want to give a huge shout out to the birthdays. Dawn's birthday, Dita Weeda and Cynthia Brewington were all there celebrating their birthday. If I got anybody, please blame it on my head and not my heart, because I'm starting to get that brain where you can't remember everything. So it's a lot of stuff. I have to write everything down. And last but not least, I'm going to give a major shout out to my son and his brothers, his homeboys, his bros. Brothers Over Everything, BOE. They did their luau event in Brockton on Saturday, and they had over 250 young people come to the event. No problems, no issues. So shout out to my son, who's now an entrepreneur and also an event planner with him and his friends. I mean, they also did a yacht party too. I guess, the apple don't fall too far from the tree. So shout out to my son and his peoples. So tonight's conversation is really one that is dear to my heart for a couple of reasons. One, the next guest that I have, we go way, way back. She knows stuff about Coach that y'all don't know. Before I was Coach Lon, I was just Lakeisha. But she's one of the first people that spoke life into a lot of the things that I do and told me I had something special and put me in a leadership role in her events. And a lot of people didn't know I was behind the scenes at 19. I think I was about 19. Yeah, I was about 19. And I've always admired her, looked up to her, and she just continues to amaze me with the things that she does. So tonight I welcome the incomparable Muffen Moses to the virtual couch. She is an award-winning celebrity stylist. Y'all heard that right, celebrity stylist. She's actually been on TV, y'all. She's an educator, an entrepreneur, a visionary, and a CEO who has transformed her passion for hair into a bi-coastal. I had never seen anybody do this before her. And when she first said she was going to do it, I know a lot of people thought she was absolutely insane to keep her business going in Boston and also be in California. But she actually did it. She's created a bi-coastal beauty empire. No wonder she calls it Muffin's World, right? With more than 4 decades in the beauty industry, Muffen has become a force in the business, education, and empowerment, impacting countless lives through her artistry, her leadership, and her commitment to excellence. She has graced the television. Yes, she has won major industry competitions, educated aspiring stylists around the country, and continues to evolve through ventures in beauty, wellness, and body sculpting. So tonight, this is bigger than hair. We're talking about building a brand. We're talking about reinventing yourself at every stage, every age. We're talking about Black women in business. We're talking about entrepreneurship and resilience, beauty, confidence, and self-worth, because that all goes together. You don't want to just look good on the outside. You also want to have that confidence and that self-worth on the inside that matches. And then how do you stay relevant for 40 plus years? Who better to ask for someone who is doing it real time? Like she told me earlier today, she's coming from her own dome, y'all. I'm aging myself, but your dome is your brain. She's coming from her own dome with this. This is not no chat GPT. This is her and her own knowledge. So I want to welcome, without further ado, my sister friend, the beautiful purple lady, as she says, because she's a purple person, Miss Muffen Moses. What's up?
Thank you so much. That introduction was I'm like, oh my God. She's making me sound real good.
Listen, you are real good. I mean, I listen. Yes, you are. You are definitely really good in my book. What would people be surprised to know about you that is not in your bio?
I'm addicted to TV.
Really? When do you have time?
Oh my God. So first of all, anyone who knows me and is around me, I have TVs everywhere I am. So there's TVs in the salon, there's TVs in every business, there's TVs wherever I'm going to be, there has to be TVs.
Okay. So you're addicted to TV. So what are you watching currently? Are you watching series, a movie? What?
I watch a lot of series.
Okay.
Divorced Sisters.
Yeah, I had to stop watching that after old girl didn't tell her girl the truth.
Yeah.
Really, so it kind of ticked me off a little
Yeah,
bit. With
it's kind of like, but
messy.
listen,
It's
it's
messy,
messy,
but it's good.
It's good. It's good.
It's good.
But I watch Beyond the Gates, the soap opera. So I'm glad to have a soap opera. It was the first black soap opera in 35 years.
I don't know that one. I have to add that.
It's Beyond the Gates, CBS. It's the first black soap opera that dropped last year in 35 years. So I'm definitely on the soap opera every day.
Okay.
But no, I am really addicted to TV. When people come into the salon, they said they always leave with a new show to go and watch.
Well, I did not know about the Beyond the
Gates.
Behind the Gates. That's new. Shout out to my sister and Sean Jordan that are on the live. Write that one down, sis. Beyond the Gates. We don't know about that one. That's a new one. Good evening, everybody that has checked in on Instagram. Miss 5 Streams, Takeover Photography. I see you guys. Thank you for checking in. Everybody on YouTube, see y'all too. Listen to my sister. She's talking about me too. I love my shows. Yeah, she's a TV buff. Anything else that they would be surprised to know about you? Because I would have definitely not taken you for a TV person.
Yes. Let's see. I don't know. I don't know. I can't think of anything.
Okay. So we got TV buff. All right. So this season 9 is all about evolving and healing and elevation. I am always amazed by my guests and the things that they've been able to overcome and sort of do and continue to do. I knew that you were teaching like at Madison Park. Mm-hmm. I remember you being one of the first people that I know of having their own salon, also getting into fashion. I mean, you did everything and anything. The biggest hair shows that were ever seen and done in Massachusetts, I'm not even going to say Boston, I'm going to say Massachusetts, were done by you. When you think about that, you think about your brand, what is something that you would tell your younger self with all of the wisdom that you have now?
Save your money. Invest, really study business. When we started, it was like, just go to work. It wasn't really instilled to go to business school to do, it's kind of like we taught ourselves. We just made it work. And if I could go back, I always say this, if I could go back, I know for a fact right now, if I go back in with what I know now, I would be probably a billionaire right now. 43 years later, I would not be working. I'll be chilling. So it's just important that we really think about what we're doing and not just live day by day. And I think as a hairstylist, that's what we was doing back then. Living the life.
Yeah, I remember money was coming quick and fast.
We knew we was going to have money every day. So whatever we made today, we spent it. The people coming to shop, selling everything, spending money every single day because you knew you was going to make money the next day.
And I would say, I've always looked at you as being an investor though, because although it was true, you are also doing hair shows. Not every stylist set the bar high, right? And gave platforms not just for yourself, but for other stylists to be showcased and for other people to see the artistry behind hair, right? Like I had never in my life seen anything as extravagant. I mean, you heard about it when you watch like TV and maybe, in Chicago, somewhere else, but not here in Boston. So sometimes your gift starts off as just a talent, but then it becomes purpose, right? It becomes more of a purpose. So I'm wondering, when did you realize that you were not just building a brand, but you were actually creating a legacy?
I don't know. I don't really know. I don't think I realized that when I was too young. I think as I got older, probably like 25 years into the game, honestly speaking, I realized what was really happening. I think for so long, I just was working. I was doing what I love. I was hanging out with my girls because that's how I felt in the salon. I'm hanging out with my girls. We're having a great conversation. Everybody's being beautified, but we're really just hanging out and having fun, making money, and money was coming. And I mean, we had one of the biggest salons on the app always. You know what I'm saying? So to have a business, from the beginning where you got like 20, 25 people a day, like it was unimaginable at the time. You wasn't even really thinking about it. We was just really making money. And I think I really probably figured out what's really happening about 20 years later, honestly, when I was like, I got to really get serious.
Really? So when you were on the show, which was a award-winning show on BET, Tears, Shears, and Beauty, you weren't like, okay, wait a minute, I've arrived, and being like in Source magazine, like you were like, everywhere.
It's crazy. If I look back in my 20s, we could start in the 20s. I'm in my 20s. I knew I was bomb. I knew that, but I feel like I struggled. The struggle was in the industry with maybe getting everybody to come together and accept everything as a industry, a Boston, a city, like togetherness. I think that was like really hard for the industry. I think everybody didn't understand that we should be like a team, a city, and not be like so competitive. And it was very, very, very competitive back then. And, for me, it was like, I want everybody to come do a hair show. I want everybody to do this. You know what I'm saying? So that's just how I thought of everything. When I started competing, I just really knew I was bomb, but I wasn't thinking about the legacy part. I just knew I was doing what I was doing. I was good at it. And that was that.
So talk to me a little bit about how you got into the industry, because if I'm not mistaken, it started with your mom. So the legacy really started with her.
Yes. So, of course, everyone knows my mom, and she was one of the first beauty salons on Blue Hill Ave.
Well, for the listeners that don't know, who is your mother and what was that first salon?
My mother is Muffen Moses, and most people know her from working at Madison Park for over 20-something years. She worked there, and she trained the majority of stylists in the city coming up. And so every day, someone's asking about my mother. This weekend at the conference, everybody's like, I know your mother. Tell your mother I said hi. And it's so funny because they'll go, how's your mother? And I said, if I tell her that you said hi, she'll remember exactly who you are. She knows everything for the last 40, 50 years. Like she knows. Okay.
I wonder how she's doing that, because I'm starting to forget.
She knows. I pray that God just lets me have that brain for real. She knows. And I always just wanted to be like my mother, period. When I was 11, 12 years old, she used to take me on the road with her. She was an educator for Johnson Products. I used to sit at the table, sell products at 11. And I knew already I was going to be a hairstylist. I was going to be great. And that was that. When she opened a salon on Blue Hill Ave, she didn't want her name in lights. She never was that person. So she named the salon after me. It was called Bridget's Boutique, which is Bridget is my middle name. So I was excited. I used to play secretary all the time and sit there and answer the phone like, Bridget speaking at 11 years old. But when she initially opened the salon, she opened it as a family salon. So all of my siblings did hair. Everyone. So 3 siblings were older than me. They all was already doing hair. And I used to sit there and be like, I'm going to be better than all y'all. I was like 11 years old at the time, but I was like, I'm going to be the one. And it's so funny because we grow up, I really started doing hair, and all my siblings ended up working for me. It was just crazy how that happened.
What's so interesting when I hear this story is that vision started way, way back. I'm going to be better than everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be the best, right? And then your mother naming it after you, if you think about it, that plants a seed in itself. And that's legacy. You don't even realize it's happening, but she's like, this is my baby salon, and she's going to come take it over.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me about the transition from that to Muffen, though.
Okay, so anyone who knows my mom's like a force. So when she had the salon, I'm working in the salon, of course, but then she started working at Madison, and my mother, it was, as far as I was concerned, it was still her salon. No matter, even if she wasn't there anymore, it was still her salon. So I felt like she was always telling me something, telling me what to do. And I was like, when you're young, you're stubborn, you don't want to listen or whatever. So space came available, 5 doors, 6 doors down. And I was like, I'm about to move down there. And she left me the salon, but because it was still like hers, I moved 6 doors down and opened up the salon and closed down one just so I could say, this is my salon. But it became Muffin's full service salon. I was able to put down a purple and white checkered floor, purple chairs, purple and white stations. Everybody's looking at me like this purple thing, but that's
she even had a purple car.
Yes, at that time I sure did. A sidekick.
She had a purple
Everybody,
car
I
too.
think, remember that, right?
Everything was
obsessed.
Purple. She's a purple person. She's giving me a whole rundown on the difference between people who like purple and purple person. So I realized I'm a person who likes purple. I'm not a purple person, because she said a purple person, everything's purple.
Oh yes,
everything ain't purple.
It's deep. It's deep.
Yeah, everything's not purple. So what amazes me though is that you said it was really competitive, and being able to be a trendsetter and deal with all of the drama that goes along with competition. And a lot of people are struggling with that right now, right? They are struggling with coming into industries that we would call are like the Red Sea, which means it's so competitive. It's like dog eat dog. It's, you know, you better be ready or you're going to get killed, you know? But you had a mindset already you was going to be the best. But how did you navigate that knowing everybody's coming for you? You know, because you had some confidence that was out this world. You walked with confidence and you talked with confidence, which can make people not like you.
And a lot of people didn't like me. And we all know that.
Yep.
But you know what? I had a friend, a hairstylist in Boston, and she said to me, I don't know how you do it. She said, honestly, I do not know how you do it. I don't know how you do a hair show every year and you have to deal with the hairstylist and a lot of negativity. Some people loved me one year, didn't like me the next year, loved me again the next year. It was just crazy, but I kept going because I was like, it doesn't matter. You like me or not. Are you coming to the hair show this year? You're going to be in the hair show. And I mean, I was on people's backs. Like, you're going to do the hair show. But also, like, I was very encouraging. I wanted people to come out. I wanted to give a platform because we're going in all these other cities and I'm competing in other cities. I wanted the same thing here in Boston. The Boston hairstylists were dope. People didn't even realize. I think people in other cities never realized how dope Black people were in Boston. They was like, are there Black people? Everywhere I went, are there Black people in Boston? I was like, yes, there's Black people in Boston. And there was my generation of stylists, the old school stylists were dope, period. It was like you could go in everybody's salon and your hair was on point. And, you know, even till this day, I tell people, well, if you want a really good hairstylist, you got to go find an old school hairstylist. You want to relax and your hair's not going to fall. You got to go find an old school stylist, you know, because at the end of the day, we did hair. We didn't play. It was no weaves. It was not. We did hair, short hair, laid. You knew every hairstylist had a signature. I could see someone's hair and be like, oh, so-and-so did your hair. So-and-so did your hair. So-and-so. That's just what it was. The stylists respected each other back then too, to a sense where your client couldn't just go sit in someone else's chair and they just accepted. They'll be like, who did your hair? Oh no, why you not going to that person no more? Oh, I'm gonna call them. They did. It was like a little bit more respect back then. People weren't. That's why I feel like a lot of clients stuck with their stylist. You couldn't go to the next house and just start talking about the stylist and just sit in their chair. I feel like we respected, even if we were competitors, it was respect, a little bit more respect from all of us. Like we really gave everybody their props. You was good. You was good. There was a lot of good hairstylists, a lot.
Yeah. It's interesting when you talk about the respect and everybody having a signature, because I remember my sister, some people was good for cuts. Some people did bomb finger waves. The updos was big back then, you know.
Ponytails. Like,
so, you know, that is very true.
Yeah.
So, you know, we talk about therapy on this show, right?
Yes.
Which is ironic, right? You probably would have never in a million years guessed that I would end up becoming a licensed therapist.
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know what you was going to become, but I knew you was going to become.
Well, I would say that I still am in the leadership role, but I had no idea that this was the trajectory that I was going to be on. I very much so wanted to go find the money, get all the money, come back by the block. But I always mentored. I always wanted to coach. I always wanted to do things like that. But I had no idea that I was going to be sitting and listening to people tell me about all of their problems. So and their worries and their concerns and all of that good stuff. But I actually enjoyed it. I'm good at it. So
I have that same job.
So I was about to tie that in. I believe that some of our first therapists in the Black community was our hairstylists, our beauticians. That they knew everybody's business while they was doing your hair, right? That is where we sat in there and you could get advice, and everybody knew everybody's business, which was a good and a bad thing, right? A good and a bad thing. But those hours in there, that was therapy for us. That was where you got good and solid advice. Most of the stylists were older than most of the people that were doing. They had wisdom. Or if you're not, they had clients that was coming in that had wisdom. So from your perspective, how has therapy played into your life beyond the hair or just in doing hair?
Doing hair, we hairstylists always like to say we should charge a little bit more for the therapy part, because we do sit and listen and we absorb a lot. So we absorb a lot of energy. It could be good energy, bad energy. We listen to everybody and we try to be that sounding board, but sometimes it's overbearing. It can be. It's a lot. You know what I mean? So anybody, and I don't even know how you do it, because that's what you actually really do. And I just feel like you're really absorbing. And people, I know they come to the salon and before they even sit in a chair, they just start talking. And sometimes you have those clients that you love to hear what they're going to say. You wait. And then you have those clients that's like, oh gosh, he's never going to stop talking. And I mean, it's like that. But I like to be the person that they can trust, that they can sit down and talk to me. And because it's all about building relationships. I really believe that having a great business, longevity really happens building those relationships, and building those relationships are letting people talk to you. You're talking to them. And that's really how it starts. It's really part of building the business as a hairstylist.
And when you talk about therapy, a lot of Black women, especially, their hair is such a blessing or a headache, right? Like they come in and they're overwhelmed because it's falling out, or they want to look a particular way. So I feel like a lot of our confidence has been embedded in hair, be it, we want it straight, we want to cut it off, or it's not long enough. So like all of these things, you're the person that's sort of helping people see their beauty, because they come in asking for a style that might be completely just out there. And you're like, listen, I got a better idea. Let me work my magic. And it brings me to my time I got my hair done in college. Because I was like, you ain't gonna better do nothing with this. She was like, let me show you. And she, I don't know how you had it stacked. It looked long. I wish I still had a picture of that style that I wore for the fashion show, but I had no idea my hair could do any of that. And it's trusting that that's the stylist to know better than you, right? To look at your face, to look at your hair texture, and to beautify you, right? And you've always done that. You like, and you, we're not going to do that. I have a better idea. Just let me, Muffen. No, I have a better idea. Just let me do my thing.
Now at this age, I'm like, you know what? Whatever you want.
Really?
No, sometimes it just, listen, 43 years later, I'm like this. Okay. Whatever you want, whatever works for you. I don't suggest you do. I don't really like this style, but if you want it, I don't got the time or the energy sometimes to just be there going back and forth with clients. I'm telling you, but I do like the client that just says, do whatever you want. That's the best client. And actually, I feel like they get the best results.
I think you got to allow people to have their expertise, right? So here's my inspiration. And what do you think? Is this possible? Because I've learned a lot about hair density. So certain things just don't work. Certain styles don't work. It's not going to look the same. But so let's talk about confidence in general, right? Because for not everybody has a mom who's showing them and showcasing and putting a business in their name and sort of just giving them that platform to be like, yep, you're gonna be that girl. And you're gonna be that girl because I'm that girl. Sometimes it's after the decision and the commitment that the confidence comes, right? Like you got to just kind of jump out there and not even know whether or not it's going to work, but you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. So I might as well try it. So talk to me about who believed in you fully before you believed in yourself.
My mother, my mother, I'm sure she believed in me. She basically didn't give me a choice. Like, this is what you going to do. I was like, okay. But she knew I wanted to do it. But she was like, this is what you're going to do. You're going to go to school. You're going to do this. I mean, I went to school at 16. I was still in high school. At night, I was going to beauty school. You know what I mean? So by the time I turned 18, I graduated from high school. I had my cosmetology license and I had my junior instructor's license at 18 years old.
Oh, you wasn't playing?
No. So I was, at that time, I was the youngest instructor in Massachusetts. I was teaching at La Newton, working in the salon. You know, I was doing my thing. And I mean, I was good out the gate. I really just always thought I was the bomb because I came out the gate. I had clients. I was making money. I was making money, a lot of money for a young girl back then.
That's I never knew that about your story, but 18, you already have all your credentials.
Mm-hmm.
But they say, sometimes it's just in you.
I believe
you just have a talent. It's not something you had to try hard to do.
I didn't. When I went to beauty school, I just went for the hours. Like my mother showed me how to do one haircut and that was it. You know what I'm saying? So it was like I was able to look at something and be able to duplicate it. I just was naturally gifted to be able to do that, and then of course having my mother, but my mother just kind of let me go on my own and I was really good.
And just because you watched it didn't mean that you was going to know how. A lot of people want to do stuff and they're not good at it.
Exactly.
And, like they're just not. I mean, I know we want to give out the awards for everybody for trying, but some people are just not good at it. One of the psychologists that I admire, her name is Carol Dweck, and she talks about growth mindset. And some people have a fixed mindset, right? So every time there's a problem or they make a mistake, they immediately think, I'm not good at it. I'm not going to try again. Now, from what you're saying, you just would get it on your first try. But were there ever times where something was hard and you didn't get it on your first try? And how did you handle not being perfect all the time? Or were you just perfect at everything?
No, I wasn't perfect at everything. I definitely made mistakes but I never gave up. I remember giving my sister a haircut and she always, till she almost passed away, she always reminded me of this for years, that I made pork chops. You know how you wanted them V's on the side back in the day? She said I cut them, mess up like they look like pork chops. So she always, I never made that mistake ever again when I did it. But she was like my little guinea pig. Like I tried everything on her. She was like, when you cut my hair like that. So I've made mistakes and I learned from my mistakes, but I never gave up. I kept trying. I was very, very creative from the beginning. I didn't need a lot of teaching lessons. I didn't need that. I could see things. I didn't need the hands-on training. I could actually sit in a look and learn class and pick it up right then and there. That's just the type of person I was, to be able to pick stuff up immediately and then just try. And I would just do it over. I remember I was working for this company, Big Bad D out of Detroit, and he challenged me and gave me this video of this hairstyle from Detroit. And it was called like the claw. And there was this ponytail that had this whole crazy thing. And he was like, I need you to learn how to do this. And it was like a crazy Detroit hairstyle. So I'm like, okay. So I went back to the salon. Everybody had this hairstyle because I had to master this hairstyle before, like between February and August. Everybody was walking around with this so-called claw on the top of their head. But when I went back in August, I killed that on that Bronner Brothers stage. And he was shocked, but I was going to prove him wrong that I could do this hairstyle. You know what I mean? So if I loved challenges like that, which is probably why I was a competitor, but that was just, but I definitely made mistakes.
I hope y'all are listening to this, right? I think that having creativity and being willing to make a mistake. And I think about that story about Bobby Brown, how the Gumby came about. Mm-hmm. Like that was a mistake.
Yeah.
And it ended up being a classic hairstyle. I think often some of our best opportunities come disguised as bad news or mistakes. You trial and error. Confidence. What do you think are the building blocks of that from your perspective? If you had to give someone advice on how to build their confidence beyond just getting their hair done, because when you get your hair done, that usually is a serious confidence booster right out the gate.
Mm-hmm. Even today, you know, I work with a lot of people that and it's crazy that I was just talking about this today, working with just people, period, who don't really see themselves as worthy of whatever, whether it's opening a business, just being in a relationship, just whatever it is. It's just, everybody's different. So confidence comes differently for everybody and at different stages. You know what I'm saying? And we can't really expect everybody to just have this confidence overnight. You know what I'm saying? But things help. Giving them a great hairstyle, just boosting. Some people really need their confidence boosted by compliments, just different things, you know. I'll tell people, you know, sometimes you got to look in the mirror, you got to talk to yourself. Like, you got to talk to yourself and be like, yo, I am, everything is I am whatever. I am this, I am that, I am, and just really like press that in our heads. But I know it's hard for some people because they don't really believe in themselves that much. So it do take other people to boost people sometime before they actually see themselves in that same light. Usually it's always somebody else that sees us before we see ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Like what they say, people see things in you you don't see in yourself. So
Absolutely.
Now I'm always beating people up like, you can do it. You can do this. And they was talking about me at church today, saying that I'm the one that's going to be like, you can do this. Go open up your business. Get this. You can do this. And some people are like, oh, no. I'm like, yeah, you can. You know what I'm saying? So, but.
And you've been like that. So again, those thank you for everyone that's tuning in. You're listening to Conversations with Coach La right here on the Urban Heat. Boston Has Black Radio. So my first introduction to you was through the UMass Boston fashion shows. And he's passed away now, who brought Antonio and yourself. And I'm getting really upset that I can't remember his name right now because he had dreads. He was tall. I know his woman's name was Stacy. Kareem.
Yes.
Kareem brought you to be a part of the fashion show. And I remember you walking in and I was just like, wow. I remember hearing about you, but not knowing you personally. And I thought I was just the baddest fashion show ever to have Antonio and Muffen in my fashion show. They couldn't tell me nothing back then. I was like, y'all understand who I have. I had Andrea and I had Muffen and I had Antonio. I was like, my fashion show is about to be the bomb, right? Which it was. We had the best fashion show ever. And I remember you saying, you was like, you know what? You're dope to me, right? You was like, look at you running this whole thing. She's like, wait a minute, you the president of this? I'm like, yes. And you find people along the way that help you see yourself. And you were one of those people in my life. I don't know that I saw what you saw, but then you was like, I got something I want you to do. And I was like, what? He was like, I'm gonna have you run my backstage for my fashion show. I was like, I can't do that. And he was like, yes, you absolutely can. And I believe in you. I remember you was like, I believe in you. You got this. You didn't hover over me. You told me what you wanted me to do and you let me go do it. And those early experiences in your life really do help shape you. And that would be my example of a confidence boost. Because after I did that, you couldn't tell me I couldn't run a backstage. And then I did Antonio's backstage. This is all stuff y'all probably don't know. But those things are so important for us to see each other and to put each other in position to learn and to grow. And you definitely have always been that person. Because I was just a college girl. I mean, that was a big deal to be part of a Muffen international hair show backstage, you know. And I've always valued the people that was backstage because I learned a lot. That what you see going on backstage, you can never imagine all that goes in to put these shows on. And learning about, you know, no dead air and everything going smoothly and the lineups, like, and then I got better and started bringing new ways to make the show even better and more on task. And you was like, I knew you could do it.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that has really set up the stage for a lot of the events that I do today is those earlier events. So absolutely, y'all got to pull your young people when you see something and people putting them in position and allowing them the opportunity to grow and to make mistakes is so important. Because you didn't even tell me about mistakes. You was like, you did fine. I'm like, no, I could have did this better and this better. You was like, you did fine. You did a good job. Right.
It was good enough. We don't got to talk about it. Right?
Let's keep it going. But yeah, man, those were some great memories. And that's why just thank you.
Well, you are so welcome. And I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
I have watched you grown into this beautiful woman you are. So yeah, I'm so happy for you.
Yeah, thank you. Hey Wade. Troy Hines. Is that what that says? No, Tony Hines. Tony Hines is on the live. You know Tony Hines?
I don't know.
Yeah, but he's dropping a lot of stuff on here. He's dropping all kinds of stuff on here. That's the podcast industry from barbershops and salons vibe. Yes, you're right. That is so true. We were like that was like the first podcast.
Well, remember
space.
The hair salons and the barbershops was the ears to the street.
Yes.
So anything that was going on, a party, anything that was happening in the city, you went to the salons, you knew, because where did everybody drop flyers at? The flyers went to the salons and the barbershops. That's how the events got packed, period. You know what I'm saying?
Very true.
That we was the ears to the street. We knew everything that was going on.
Everything.
And
again, good and bad thing. You went in there.
No, we knew the good and the bad.
You know, you get an earful. You hear about stuff you probably didn't know about. But it was almost too like what happens in the salon stays in the salon for the most part. Like that was
sometimes.
A safe for the most. I said for the most part,
depending on the area.
For the most part. But you know, I felt like that's where you also learned about being a woman, femininity. Like I remember my aunt taking me to go get my first press and curl. Like that was just for a lot of Black girls. That was a transition from getting your hair done as a little girl. And then you finally get a chance to go to the salon and get a relaxer or get your hair pressed and straightened. It was like a transitioning period for womanhood. So shout out to all of the stylists and beauticians and those that master barbers. There's just they do a lot of things.
Shout out to all the ones that have been doing for 25, 30, 35, 40, 50 years that's still doing it.
Still doing it.
Right.
Now you've done well, before I go to that, let me go ahead and bust this down real quick. So we talk about bet on self moments. And those moments are when you sit back and you go, you know what, if not now, then when? If not me, then who? And you've recently transitioned into new business territory and you don't just do one thing. You know, you just don't do one thing. So talk to me about your bet on self moments. Talk to me about either past, present, or future. Because I know there's some offline things we talked about, but what's next for Muffen?
Oh my goodness, what's next? I'm in the middle of so many things. I think for me, I don't know. It's like right now, my focus is really just driving my businesses to a certain point. I'm on like a 5-year plan. And in 5 years, I just want to see some major things happen just to set me up, you know, for the rest of my life and for my family, for my kids or whatever. That's really about it. That's really kind of where I'm focused. Of course, I have like the salon, but the salon right now for me is just really doing the people who I love, I have clients that I've had for 30 years. They're still there. I mean, I'm thankful that people are actually knocking down my door still every day. People are calling, trying to get in my chair. That's the biggest thing that makes me so excited that people still want me 43 years later.
Yeah.
You know, that. And then of course, you know, I stepped into the body contouring thing in 2021, which was a newer business. So I'm really pressing in on that right now. I also am like really working on my apparel line, which is Empire Apparel, which I introduced a lot of new stuff this weekend at the women's conference. I have my signature line with the bags, the scarves. And this was just something I was kind of doing for fun. You know, everything is fun for me, but of course we want to make money, extra money, always having retail, just things to sell is what we need to have. So for the next thing I want to do is just help as many people as I can. So I want to do a little bit more coaching. I'm going to do more classes. And my purpose right now is to help and elevate stylists or anyone in the beauty industry, and actually any entrepreneur I can actually help. But mainly the beauty industry, of course, because that's my heart, is to help them succeed people are failing. People are having a hard time. A lot of people don't know what to do. And some of the older hairstylists, because some people don't want to be on social media, or some people are dealing with that challenge of, we got to be on social media. We got to do this. And we never had to do all that before. And some people don't want to do it, but don't know how to still maintain or, you know, get gain without doing these things. So my thing right now is to really help people make more money and be able to make decisions that will keep them growing. So that's really like my purpose moving forward.
You know, so I was talking to Muffen offline, and I was saying to her, like, psychological development, she's right where she's supposed to be, is middle adulthood, right? And Erickson is a really big psychologist. A lot of people in our field quote him about stages of development. And it's that stage where when you start thinking about what am I leaving behind, and building a legacy, you start wanting to teach and mentor and give back, right? Because at this point, that's where you're at. You have all this wisdom. People start writing books and teaching courses and speaking and becoming keynote speakers and things like that. So it's interesting that people don't necessarily like what's in books, but it's when it aligns, and I'm like, literally, it's a textbook. Like, the stage you're at, and it is in alignment with that. And it's like, wow. I love when I find out that my books are actually on point. Like, it's not just something that someone just wrote.
Right.
It doesn't make sense. And it's like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
So those that are thinking about, you know, businesses and thinking about moving forward, and you're always, you know, maybe thinking you ran out of time, you know, as they say, we got, you know, less time ahead of us when we get up in our 50s than we have behind us. How are you transitioning, thinking about that and thinking about what's next? Some people start to feel like there's pressure. Do you feel like there's pressure?
No, I don't really feel pressure at all. I just continue doing what I do. Like, I feel like you just take it one day at a time, because whatever we're going to do today is what we're going to do today. Tomorrow's not promised to any of us. So we got to try to really focus on the day and do what you can. And when we wake up tomorrow, what we didn't do yesterday, we just do it the next day. And we just have to kind of focus. I think a lot of people lose focus or get nervous or things. But if you really look at life and look at people, most millionaires and billionaires are built in their 50s and 60s. So it's never too late to do anything. And earlier you had made a statement saying that we have to look out for the young people. We got to look out for the older people too. So like, I love to mentor the younger people coming up that want to be entrepreneurs, but these days, this younger generation is a whole totally different set of people. But I do really want to focus on like the 40 plus, because some people are really like, I don't know what to do. And I said, just so I said earlier, it's that transition of not having to depend on social media, not have to depend on all that stuff, and now having to depend on that stuff, or doing, if you're not doing that stuff, it could be hurting your business, or, you know, so that transition right there, those are the folks I really want to help too, because that's when we've been in business for 20 years. Now our business is slow. Now we're losing business. Now we might have to close. Now we got it down. Those are the people I really, really want to help if I can.
That makes a lot of sense though. Because I think we can become creatures of habit. What has worked for the last 20 years, all of a sudden one day it doesn't work anymore. And you're right, with AI and Chat GPT,
it's just gonna get worse.
All these things, even when there was introduction of computers and people was struggling to go from cash-based businesses to, you know, booking online and finding, you know, tools to make it more turnkey and quicker for clients to get access to them, struggled with, hey, people are not just calling the salon anymore, and you got a appointment book.
Even walk-in, they don't just walk in. I mean, you do get some walk-ins, but that was a thing before, you know.
Things have changed, so you know, having to step up your game and understand, you know, the technology and the business side of things is definitely a learning curve.
Yes.
So let's get into Coach's Corner. Coach's Corner is that opportunity for us to really shed some light on the lessons that we want people to learn. But I'm gonna switch this up a little bit and do like a rapid fire and have you give me your answers to this for this section. Because I want people to walk away. When I chop this up and we put those viral clips out there because now everything's about a viral clip.
No.
This is your moment to highlight all of the things you want the people to know, darling. So biggest lessons from entrepreneurship.
Never give up. Be consistent. Really, consistency is key. I know sometimes we want to just stop, or it's not working fast enough, but really being consistent, it usually will work out for you, most people.
Gotcha. Favorite hairstyle of all time?
Short hair, I would say.
Yeah,
short hair.
All right. Celebrity you would love to style?
I think it would be Cardi right now.
Yeah. What would you do to Cardi?
I don't know, but I would really want to do her hair. I just love her.
She has such a great personality. They asked her today, like, what did she think about the New York Knicks winning? She was like, the potholes are gonna get filled. I'm like, what, Cardi? That was her answer.
We was talking about her a little while ago. We went to the mix and we was talking about Cardi. I don't know. Oh, they was playing Cardi or whatever. We was talking about it. And I was like, I like Cardi because she reminds me a lot of me. She says what she wants. She came from where she was. She's killing the game, but she does not care who likes her, who doesn't. And she says whatever is on her mind. And I feel like that is me.
Oh yeah, she's a whippersnapper.
Yes.
You gotta love that people can say what they want, and she has a mind for business.
Yes.
There's a lot of people that want to talk about the girl is actually very intelligent, and she is doing some amazing things. And she just came up with a hair care line.
I know.
That sold out.
I know.
Immediately. I don't know if it got restocked, but it was sold out. Best business advice you've ever received?
Stop working so hard.
Work smarter, not harder.
No, for real. So let me say this real quick. So a long time ago, we were still Charlene, the hairstyle Charlene. She said to me, and she was always one of my mentors. She said, Muffen, you have to stop working so hard. This is when we're doing 25 heads a day, right? She said, you got to stop working so hard. You got to work smarter. She said, charge more and do less people. So I'm like, okay. So then the prices went up. This is when we were still in the app. The prices went up. Everybody's still paying. I'm like, shoot, I ain't going to do less people. I'm going to keep doing the same amount of people and make more money.
So it had the reverse effect on you.
That's exactly what it did. All she did was make me work more, I swear. And I'm still working. Like, the way people talk to me is like, what are you doing? I'd be like, I don't know.
Well, I remember back in the day, and you still do this, right? You would be in the shop some really late hours. Like your last client, 11 o'clock, you would still be working.
No, I'm still doing that.
That was unheard of.
No, but 40 years later, I'm still doing
like you would do that. And now you're bi-coastal. Like, again, I had Stormy Wellington on here 2 weeks ago, and she said one thing: no one would ever outwork her. And sometimes when we're upset about people's success and where they're at, they put in the hours and the work, and you cannot outwork them. To get where they're at, you would have to outwork them, outthink them, outvision them. You just have to be a whole different type of beast. And I think that's the struggle. Not everybody has the tenacity to be able to do all that you do and still do it with style. They're exhausted even hearing your schedule.
They really are.
They're exhausted.
No, because people say that to me, like, I'm tired just looking at you.
Right. They're exhausted. They're like, wait a minute, you do what? You come to Boston and you do hair for like a couple of days and then you go back. What? That's just unheard of. I remember when you said you were going to do it and people thought you were crazy. That there was no way you were going to be able to keep that up. There was no way that was going to happen. Afraid you would lose clients, and actually you got more clients. They were more consistent because they knew you wasn't coming back.
They don't play no games.
So it didn't have the effect that they thought it was going to happen.
No. And today I was telling somebody, I can't believe it's actually 11 years that I've been going back and forth every other week. 11.
I can't believe it. And then you flip, you're always innovative. Don't ever think you know what Muffin's going to do. That's the other thing I learned, and I took that page out your book. Just when they think that maybe they know, you come with something else. Just when they think they got the upper hand or the advantage, you come with something else. She dropped bags, bucket bags, with her signature logo on it. What? Bucket bags, scarves. Yeah, absolutely. I've watched you do it, and I've always been amazed, like the creativity. And you say you spend all your money, but you also invest money back into your business.
I do.
It
Now it's
money,
a different story.
Yeah, it takes money to go create a bucket bag.
Yes.
And to have enough inventory to sell it.
Yes.
Like, I'm a businesswoman. I know there's a design, there's a whole bunch that's going behind the scenes to even create that and to bring that to market.
Yes.
Tell me, what does bet on self mean to you?
I always bet on myself. I know I'm going to win. I know. Bet on self to me means when you put in the work, when you put in the hard work, you're going to be successful. And I know when I make up my mind to do something, it's going to get done. And I was telling somebody, even back in the day, years ago when we started the hair show, and I wanted to move to different venues that, these venues was costing money. You go to Marriott, you want the whole ballroom. They want like $25,000 back then. You know what I'm saying? And I would be like, I'm going to do this hair show in November. I don't have $1, but that show is going to take place. And I was going to make it happen. And I always did. So the thing about it is you just have to, if you're going to do something, I feel like once you put it out and say once I say I'm going to do it, it's going to get done. No matter what I have to do to make it happen, it's going to get done.
She's giving me some guidance and wisdom, because they say at every level you level up, a new version of yourself is needed.
Yes. So
when you think you have arrived, the more you challenge yourself to step out of your comfort zone, you need new tools, skills, new everything to keep moving forward.
Well, what I tell everybody is, if you're doing something new, you want to start a new business, you want to do whatever adventure it is in your life you want to do. If you are not uncomfortable, it is not big enough. So if you're stepping into something and it's easy, it was never big enough. That's easy. That's not a challenge. You got to feel so uncomfortable, like I can't do this. This is crazy. You got to feel like it's not going to work. Almost you're petrified. That's when you know it's big. It's big enough for you.
I tell you, that is so true. What version of yourself are you being called to become?
A better.
Well, what's better than where you already are?
Listen, I'm always working on myself. I feel like I want to be a better mother. Till this day, I want to be a better mother, a better sister, a better daughter, a better wife, a better, I just want to be better. I feel like every day, if we're not trying to be better with ourselves, we're not going to progress in everything else that we're doing in life. I want to be a better business person. For me to want people to respect me, support me, anything, everything I do, I have to continue being better. I know I'm not the person I was 5-10 years ago. I'm not even the person I was a year ago. I tell people all the time, and they go, I know, Muffen, if you haven't really communicated with me in the last year, 6 months to a year, you really don't know me. You know Muffen, but you don't know me. Because I'm constantly changing to be better for myself.
That's dope. I think when I have clients come in and we're talking about life, I often say that to them. I'm like, if you can just work on being 1% better every day, focusing on what it is that you have a passion and a joy to do, and you stay focused, eyes on the prize, you will eventually get there. But you first got to have a big dream. You got to have something that is driving the bus, driving the mentality. They say some of the most successful people aren't always the most talented. They are often the people who stay committed when everyone else quits. What do you think about that?
I believe it. A lot of people quit. People can't take the heat. If something's not moving fast enough, they quit. What they say, most people quit right before their blessing hits.
Mm-hmm.
That's what normally happens.
And you've been very spiritual. We've actually bumped into each other at church. How is spirituality sort of wrapped into your world? Because I know over time, I feel like your spirituality has been louder or more visible than when I remember the earlier stages of Muffen.
Well, I feel like it's pulling more and more and more, lately, but I try to stay balanced. I do believe that you should be able to love God. God is the reason for everything with me, period. Like everything. I wouldn't be who I am today without him. And I'm not going to sit and say I'm the most spiritual person or I follow all the rules and I do, because that is not true. But I do believe that you can love God and know that he is all of all without being perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people get that twisted sometimes. Like you just have to walk that walk and be perfect all the time too. And I don't think that's true, So I'm going to do what I'm going to do for church. If my pastor, first lady calling, ask me to do anything, I'm going to jump up and do it immediately. They're a big part of my life all the time. And I don't have to see them all. I can call them on the phone if I have an issue, a problem, anything. They're the first people that I normally call.
We are the Urban Heat. Expect the unexpected. Unorthodox radio from Boston and beyond. Heat.a1fm.com and iHeartStation.
Yes. I'm glad that you said that. I think that having spirituality is key, right? You have to have something that grounds you. So last but not least, legacy in one sentence.
I don't know how to answer that.
Legacy in one sentence.
I don't know.
What do you want to leave behind? I got a better question for you. When people think about Muffen Moses, long after you're gone, what do you want them most to remember about you?
I had the bombest hair shows.
and did.
That I did something to make their career or life better. Something. It could have been one word. It could have been one sentence. It could have been anything we did that I hope I did something to help somebody, and especially in the beauty industry.
That's dope. So what you got coming up next? How can people connect if they want to get coached, if they want to get in your chair, they want to buy products?
Well, first of all, I want everybody to go to my website, which is Muffin's World. And some guy said to me today, I can't believe your website is called Muffin's World. Of course you would have Muffin's World. But I said, I want you to go to Muffin's World. When you go to Muffin's World, you immerse yourself into my world and you get to see every single thing that I'm doing. From the hair salons to the products, the wig line. I'm a medical hair loss specialist. My melt tea, you talk about my melt tea, which is like a number one selling tea right now. It's selling across the country. The body contouring, which is Marty Scope, Empire Apparel, Muffin's signature line. We have so many things, coaching, classes. I am working on something that will take place in September. So soon that information will be coming out, but we'll be bringing back cuts and cocktails, cuts parties coming soon, educational workshop. A big one will be coming up in September.
Yep. And you have all of this on Muffin's World.
Yes,
I got it right on the screen for y'all. So as we close up, I want you guys to think about a couple things. Legacy is a mental health practice. Muffen has dropped so many gems about your mindset, right? Affirmations, speaking to yourself positively in the mirror. She don't know she's dropping a whole bunch of psychological frameworks that you learn in therapy, but some people naturally have that or have had somebody model it for them. Thank goodness for your mom, but everybody doesn't have that in life. Everybody doesn't have people around them that do that. Most of us have come across a Muffen in their life that saw something in them that they didn't see in themselves, put them in a position to help them grow. Grab onto those people. Remember those memories. Those things often don't always come from your parents. They can come from people in your community. Many people think success is all about achievement. Erickson, which is one of my favorite psychologists, would argue that fulfillment comes from contribution. The question isn't, what did I accomplish or what did you accomplish? The deeper question is, who benefited because I was here? And I think that's what we're talking about today. I think this show, season 9, is a milestone show. I'm getting ready to turn 50, and I wanted to bring people on the show that if it inspired me or I think would inspire someone else. So tap into these people, tap into people like Muffen, because she's a plethora of knowledge, resources beyond hair, but just being able to be an entrepreneur, be a woman that has big vision, big dreams, and staying consistent, even when it gets tough or when other people are not applauding you or believing you or think you're crazy or you're doing too much. Right? I think about people like her. I'm like, I'm really not doing that much. You're not doing enough. How about that? You're not doing enough. If you were doing as much as me, you wouldn't feel that way. Mm-hmm. So I really want people to feel connected to purpose and contribution. If you're trying to improve your mental health, one of the first things you can do is serve. They talk about it in church. If you can't pay tithes, find a ministry to serve in. Find purpose. Go give back. Go volunteer. Go mentor. You will be surprised how immediately your disposition will change, and you'll see how much you have to be grateful for. Any closing thoughts from you?
Nope. I just want everyone to be great. Be your best self. Be consistent with whatever you're doing in life. I just believe that being consistent is key to a successful life, your personal life and business life.
And that, clock that T.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to everybody once again. Instagram, y'all are popping. I can't even say all the names, but the Esco 781. Thank you, J.O. City. I know that's you, Courtney. Thank you for tuning in. There's so many people on here. Facebook, Instagram. I'm trying to look at all of the screens, but I see y'all. I thank y'all. Make sure y'all tune in next week for another virtual couch. Next week, if I'm not mistaken, I have DJ Wade, and y'all don't understand. Wade got a lot of nuggets, so he's on the couch next week, so you don't want to miss that conversation. Shout out to everyone again that tuned in this week. Thank you, Miss Muffen Moses.
Thank you. I enjoyed myself
being here and just sharing all your nuggets. People are in the comments saying that this was a fire interview. The questions were fire. Thank you for your answers. So I'm gonna enjoy editing this show. Again, it's just an honor. I'm always rooting for you, and I'm just thankful. I'm thankful for all of the things that you do. Continue to keep inspiring us. Y'all make sure y'all bet on self this week. Find somebody to go connect with. Find somebody to mentor. And as Muffen said, we just want y'all to win. We want you to win. We want you to be happy. We want you to have great lives. I don't want people to be anxious and depressed and just sitting in misery. I don't want that. I want the world to not need me. I want you to not need a therapist, right? But come get this therapy. Come get this coaching until you are able to coach yourself, okay? See y'all. Good night. Bye.
Nancia, Smokehouse, it's the urban heat. Shout out to Coach Live.
Coach LA, it's time to listen to conversations that's gonna keep you winning. Sunday nights at 10 p.m.